Welcome to DollHouse, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Sinful, and I am your host for Beyond the NFT. Joining us tonight are three very talented individuals representing the Angzaar Outpost team. Angzaar is an immersive in-world market plaza located at 0, negative 82. Current development is being overseen by the Last Slice Collective. First, I would like to introduce founder of the Last Slice Collective and member of the project management and creative coding team at Angzaar. Everyone, let's give it up for Lastrum.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sinful, thank you as always for what you do and having us on tonight.
Thank you for being here, Lastrum. Next, I would like to introduce wildlife photographer as well as member of the project management, writing, and gamification teams at Angzaar. Let's give it up for Meese, everyone.
Hey, thanks for having me back, Simple. I appreciate it.
That was a good time in Miami, my friend. I'm really happy I got to spend it with you.
And yeah, it was an awesome weekend.
And lastly, I would like to introduce 3D modeling god. Yes, I've seen the Twitch streams, dude. As well as member of the project management, productions, and 3D modeling teams at Angzaar. Let's give a warm DollHouse welcome to Economist.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. You're too kind, by the way. Definitely not a god.
Hey, I've seen the streams, and hey, that's kind of what you tell me in the stream chats too. You're like, no, I'm still learning. So thank you for being here tonight, gentlemen. It's truly an honor to have all three of you, and as I was mentioning earlier, Nicole, definitely have to have you three back on for your own individual shows.
Yeah, I would love that. I'd be happy to.
So let's see. Starting question for tonight. Could you give us a more in-depth description about the Angzaar Outpost and what the vision is, the vision that the team hopes to accomplish when everything is said and done?
Yeah, so I'll take that one first, and then Meese is going to talk about the gamification, and then Alex, sort of how we approached it from a creative architecture, stylistic design, and creative approach. So high level, what we're all doing right now, I hope we can all do in Decentraland, and by that I mean Meese, Sinful, and our economists are talking on Discord, but we're streaming it on Twitch into Decentraland. It would be so awesome to have all of this stuff happen inside Decentraland. When you play Grand Theft Auto, you and your buddies have their headset. They don't have their phones next to each other on speakerphone talking, right? So taking all of that, we wanted to keep advancing the platform. And the platform we want is inside the browser tab of Decentraland. So what can we do inside the browser tab, and how can we keep people inside the browser tab of Decentraland? And that's kind of, what we sort of laid out from the beginning. We've been building for other brands for over 18 months, doing our own projects, but nothing on this scale. And so we all came together in 2021 as a NFT group, just to build cool stuff. No one was paying us. We were all just hanging out. And then we got really good at what we were doing together as a group, and people started paying us. Fast forward to now, we asked for our first and only grant from the DAO, and we are building this plaza redevelopment for the community. It's not just for us, it's for the entire community. It's not for a brand or a company. It's for everybody listening to this call in Decentraland right now that might hear it on replay, that is maybe new watching on Twitch, somewhere that wants to come in and see what's going on. So we said, how can we keep people engaged in Decentraland? Well, one thing is everything that you do or use in Decentraland should be available for purchase or browsing inside Decentraland. And that exists sporadically on parcels here and there, but not in a central location. So he said, okay, we're gonna have three legs to this. We're gonna have a marketplace, we're gonna have gamification, and we're gonna have community. And so the first part is the marketplace. So every marketplace website functionality for Decentraland can and is currently happening inside the Angzaar Plaza. So you can buy wearables, you can buy names, you can buy land, you can buy emotes, you can view all of those, you can filter. We use the exact same types of filtering and things like that that happen on the marketplace website inside the world. And that's a super high level of leg one. Leg two is the MMO. We're building an online game, immersive experience. We're not saying it's P2E, but it's definitely going to be one of the most immersive multiplayer experiences inside Decentraland that we have ever seen. And then community. We include the community that we're building with and for in the scene. So some people today were at the CBD 1-year anniversary of the ABC tours. We have in the hub a video welcome screen from the ABC team. We also have other code from other players and other people inside Decentraland integrated throughout the hub. We want to continue to do that as we progress this project and get community feedback and community involvement. So at a high level, we're trying to keep people inside Decentraland by purchasing things that they use inside Decentraland, but then also providing other ways to interact in an immersive way, but also with the community, maybe interacting with somebody else who isn't necessarily part of our team, but has their code. So those are like the three high level things from my side. And then maybe Mies can dive into a little bit of the gamification and Alex can approach the architecture.
Totally. I'm sorry. One second, Alex. Unfortunately, my headset's dying and I have to switch. Alex, can you can you cover me for a minute here? Last room, I apologize.
Yeah, I got you.
Mies. Yeah, go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
We can talk visuals. So yeah, coming at it from a high level, we all bring to the table a lot of different backgrounds and interests. We are all interested in gaming at its core. So, from a visual perspective, I think it's probably pretty apparent that, we take a lot of inspiration from Star Wars, Ready Player One, even Wreck-It Ralph, some cinema beyond games. We're pulling in a lot of RPG elements from games like RuneScape, EverQuest, like classic online MMORPGs of our past that we found that a lot of Decentraland community members also resonate with, and gamification inspiration too. Like a lot of times we're talking about Grand Theft Auto and different ways that we can incorporate these different styles and mechanisms into this world that we're creating here, which is known as the Angzaar. So, we have these basic, I say basic, but there's been a lot of thought that has gone into the overall layout and master planning of this plaza as a whole. So with the emphasis, especially on the hub, this drop-in point, and the hub is the centrally located place of Angzaar where you'll drop into. It's an octagon, so there are 8 flat facets that stem out from this central concentric location. It's meant to be a social hub akin to like something you might find in any MMO game with an economy factor. Like the Grand Exchange could be a direct comparison in a way to RuneScape. And from this concentric point in the center where you'll drop into the CNAT, everything stems out from it, right? So think of the hub as your safe zone. This is where all of the primary content happens. This is where, as Lastrom was saying, we're bringing in the DApp functions and the user functionality to give immediate access to the community members. And then as you trickle sort of away from this concentric spawn point and start to explore the outer lands of the desert, that's where you'll find the player marketplaces and some of the more risky gamification content. So we are excited to be bringing these structures and factions and all this content to you guys. Right now, as Sinful is running around there's a lot of placeholders for a lot of the content to come. We do have 2 factions that are located in opposite catty corners of the plaza. So right now on Sinful's screen, we're looking at the Dunepunk headquarters, which is a work in progress. And then in the opposite corner, we're going to have the Cyberpunk factions. And these give us a lot of visual inspiration to the architecture and the layout, just creating these factions and the culture and sort of the ideology of these peoples and these groups that are opposed for reasons that we can't get too deep into today. But we are excited to, as we continue to develop all this content, unveil it as it gets created. So.
I was going to just jump in there quickly. So Sinful, maybe for the demonstration, before we get into gamification, if you want to go hit the fly mode so that maybe you can get high up and sort of see the master plan of the entire space.
You say fly mode. How do I do this? What?
So anybody that's watching, there is a secret area, and I would advise you to go back into the hub and visit one of the stores. One thing, and then we'll get into a little bit more functionality, but I would definitely say go into the hub, and in one of the stores, there is an entry to a place.
Would it be this one? No. This one's some.
Oh, is your stream a little delayed?
Oh wait. Do I still have my Discord screen? Oh, yeah, on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So if what you want to do is go back into the wearable store or the emote store, one of those, and go downstairs.
Okay. Let's see. That one's blocked off. What is this? This downstairs? Oh, what? I didn't even know this was here. Does this go into another store? The next store?
Yeah. So.
Okay. Whoa. Okay, so fly mode.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. You're a true gamer. You found it on your own. I love it.
Unknower helped.
Okay, so what I want you to do quickly, just this is a little tidbit. We have an in-game menu on top of the Decentraland menu. So that icon on the top right, if you actually click on that, it'll bring up our custom menu. And we have a thing called fast travel. We're coming up with some of the names, but these things on the map, this is the overview. There you go. So now you're going to navigate and you actually get a fast travel animation. If you're ever in third person, you get to see it. It's pretty cool. But now you're outside.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not kinda, actually. Really cool. All right.
So you're already there. So now if you want to hit Shift F, that will enable fly mode. And then just hold W forward. And whichever way you're looking, you're going to fly. Don't jump. Just, okay. So it says do not jump. So you got to re-enable fly mode. So hit Shift F again.
Shift F, fly mode,
and then just W. W and then look up to go up. And if you actually hold the left or right arrow keys, you might go a little faster.
There we go.
As you fly.
Oops, wrong button. There we go. Oh my god, fly mode is amazing.
Yeah, so I just wanted to tell people, the secret's out, it's there, but it definitely gives you a higher perspective of what we're building as Mies kind of wants to explain the gamification part.
Totally. Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate it. So there's going to be a lot of different things kind of going into the gamification, but I'll start off some of the basics. A lot of our scene and it plays into resources and limited resources and competition. And so we're going to be using the itemization and the storyline and our factions here to all play into that. And so we're going to have, right now we're working on some player versus some PvE gamification. So we'll be fighting some enemies and we'll be showing some of that or playing with some of that a little later on here. And then we've got a few other things as well going on. So that maybe is going to be like a shooting based first person shooter, and so with like MMO mechanics, in that as well. So it's kind of a combination of the two. And I think it fits really well with Decentraland, and so that's why I'm really excited to, show you guys, or I know we all are excited to show you all tonight. This little test here that we've been working on so hard for the last few days. These guys have, and so some other things as well. We're going to have some mini games as well. So we're looking at doing maybe 3 different mini games and have a variety of different things that aren't just necessarily killing, things that'll challenging and fun for other people that maybe have different desires or game types that they enjoy. And so that's something, we're looking into as well. And that's just, I think those are some of the most fun things. Even though the PvE, I'm really big on it. I think that the mini games will be just as enjoyable as well. So I think that players and different people will enjoy both types. And we're also looking at having achievements in there for people that like to just do everything. And so we're just looking at a large variety of gamifications and including them with everything in our scene. So you're going to see, the main hub here, like Lashram said, you're going to have the marketplace and those features. We also have like the CPCs that are out there. And so, they may have their own gamification, reward system, something in the future as well. So that's some potential. And then we have going out from the marketplace. Then we have our PvE gamification that's going to be relying mostly or being out in the desert and in between the factions. And so we're going to have this desert, which we're also working on weather for. That's going to be a part of our grant here. So we're going to have the desert with some enemies. And in addition to that, we're going to have, some sandstorm going on. So I think that the combination of these things is going to be pretty awesome in the end, and something unlike maybe DCL has seen before. So that's the hopes, at least from me. So that's kind of just a basic intro on some of the gamification that we're currently working on.
Thank you, Mies. And question, as far as writing goes, where do you draw your inspiration for, the script writing, as well as like even like the missions that will soon come to Angzaar?
Yeah. So originally we our economists, and I we were originally trying to come up with like a lot of different ideas, and one of the things that I liked was factions. And so we got together and started coming up with, or he came up also with, some stuff on his own that was really, really helpful, which some different ideations of different factions. And I was a huge player of like Magic the Gathering was one of the games I played. And so there was a set that came out, it's called Khans of Tarkir, but this whole set played on 5 different factions. And so these are just, individual groups, different things, and they all had their own individual traits, characteristics that made them slightly different. And the world that they were in was very competitive and, just very limited resources and things like that. So, I felt that the environment that we were creating, that might be a good fit. And so with the dystopian, futuristic kind of scene that we were looking to go for here in a desert, I thought that that these factions would be a good fit. And so out of the ones that were ideated, we came out with the Dune Punks and the Cyberpunks. And these 2 factions, I thought would be a really good start, or we thought it'd be a really good start to just introduce the different factions there and this scene, this world, and the differences kind of between them and their individual or their group struggles. And just kind of give a better idea of like, what it's like to live or to be on this world. And so the goal is through the quests and the main storyline, as the player progresses and goes through the individual factions, that they get a better understanding of different people and different factions and how they kind of think and operate. And so the world's kind of gonna, the storyline will open up as the player progresses through the gamification and the quests and all of that. And so another thing I do want to include and talk about a little more just briefly on the gamification is that we have these factions, and so what I wanted to do is, for Decentraland, I wanted to see something a little different, to where something a little more, we did as well. I'm like, just something more permanent. And I really liked social systems. And so, I think that we have these limited resources, and they're almost like currencies. We don't necessarily have like a specific currency in the game as of right now, but there's like different things that, for bartering or currencies that are considered like currencies. And so, I think the social aspect, if you're in an environment where you're surviving on your own, that's like social currency is almost, it's a currency on its own. And so for survival or for whatever it is it may be. And so these factions, they have their own like tier systems of their membership and their ranks, based on the people who, are in them and how they perform, and how they lift up and contribute to the factions. And so, the player is going to have choices to perform different actions within our scene. And then those actions are going to have, some of them are going to have consequences based on, their actions. Some of them are going to be positive and some of them might be negative. And so, if there's certain things that a player does that's maybe negative towards a certain faction, then they will lose social standing with that faction for doing so. Now, depending upon how they do it or what they do, maybe there's another faction that maybe say, hey, we don't like these guys, we like what you're doing. We're going to give you some social standing with us for doing so and helping us out, or something like that. In addition to that, so we've got the two individual factions. That's the cyberpunks and the dune punks. And the cyberpunks are a little more technology related. The dune punks are a little more earthy. They're more environmental. They're hardened by the weather and survival. And then we have a third one as well. So in addition to that, the Angzaar hub itself also has its own social standing through the factions. And so there will be reward systems and kind of like gated or tiered experiences and benefits and items for all these three different factions throughout the different levels of progression as players work through that.
Will players be able to kind of play both sides, or like at least be cool with both factions?
Yeah, just to add, I'd say that we're all really interested in exploring the ideas of player agency and how their choices might affect or change the landscape in a dynamic way, such as like even allowing them access to certain areas or blocking off access to other areas, some sort of like Dark Souls-esque mechanics in a way, to how the map can actually update or transform as you progress through this world. So that's definitely a huge undertone, I think, of all the gamifications that we're trying to incorporate, is just, having this feeling that the impact of your decisions, the weight, and, kind of maybe sometimes you're in a bit of a pickle of a decision where you have to make a hard choice, and there may be consequences that go along with that. And we all, I don't want to speak for everybody here, but I think we're all excited by elements like that of how to make this world a bit more dynamic.
Yeah, I mean,
for the player and for everything around it.
Even I'm getting excited here.
Totally. And and thank you so much for bringing that up. I really appreciate you expanding on what I was saying, because I definitely that was awesome. So I think as well, expanding on what I said and what our economist said, is that like players, they oh my goodness, I'm sorry, 1 second. Players progressing through the factions and the faction ranks and the social system, whichever one they decide to partner with or work with, that they may see different reactions from NPCs that are in the scene through their interactions socially in the scene as well. And so not only, like our economist said, we have different areas that are sectioned off or maybe limited by that, but this is another thing as well, is you may see different reactions from people. I don't think I've seen that quite yet either. Maybe in Decentraland based on your previous actions, and so that's something really cool that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, essentially what we're trying to create is a living world within a world, right? Like every scene that you see in Decentraland feels.
Oh, did we lose Lastrum?
Oh nope, sorry, you guys there. Sorry.
Yep.
I was about to say, every scene in Decentraland, and again, this is kind of an overgeneralization, but is static, right? If I come there from today or tomorrow, you know, it might be the same. Maybe there's something different. We wanted to create basically a living city, a living environment within a world. And so a lot of what we do is you as a player are making choices. Those choices are going to affect you. They're going to affect others. The environment is going to affect those choices. Your choices might affect the environment, vice versa, and just make it feel more interactive. So that's what our goal is. At least we're trying.
Or is everything kind of like interconnected? Like, let's say, Argent Gold's avatar is waiting for you in the desert. Will it be waiting in the desert for everyone else, or is it kind of like a individualized scene or instance, or kind of like just moment?
So we're gonna have both actually. We've done instancing really, really well with Samsung and all of our other builds, but what we wanted to do is it's actually a conundrum. We wanted to make it massively multiplayer. So what we can get into at some point on this call is show you that multiplayer functionality. So a lot of what you see is replicated across everybody. So if an elevator goes up, it's going to go up for everybody at the same time. We haven't programmed that in the Dune Punk scene, but that is what's going to happen. If you see an enemy, the enemy will be visible to all of us.
Okay.
If you do damage to an enemy, I am going to see that damage to that enemy, and we're going to share in that reward from that enemy. If you're playing one of our games, Bite Runner, depending again on your choices as a player, you might have a power up that you can go and attack or hinder that player who is on a mission and stop them from doing it.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, we can do a lot of this stuff. It's really awesome. We just think again, we want to make it super immersive, beyond what we're doing. And so we've got a lot of things going on in the scene. I don't know where you want to go next, but there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, let's jump over to the Angzaar world, which I do have loaded up over here. I can definitely see a lot more detail into the world. Wow.
Yeah, so just quickly, and Economist and me, so you can chime in. Again, this is the landing point, and I don't know for your viewers if you want to do this, but we talk about this. If you refresh your page, when you log in, you're gonna get randomly dropped into the scene in the center on one of those pods. There's these little pillars that it's so subtle you might not notice, or maybe I've only done it a million times that it is subtle to me. But when you come flying down the center, you're gonna boom land on one of these little pillars, and to us that just feels so cool.
Yep.
It feels awesome. So there's all kinds of little things like that.
Okay, I didn't know that was by design. That's actually that's really cool. Is that
And
you?
it's random.
Oh, it is you.
Yeah. So, a quick overview. You're inside the hub. From a 2D UI perspective, the top right you've already clicked on, but let's go through it again quickly. This is your Angzaar menu. So you automatically default to the map for fast traveling with these shortcut icons around the map. We're gonna have custom icons, custom locations for you as a player. Again, your choices. If you want to go tag somebody's tent and bookmark it, you can join their quest log. We've got quests. They're all closed right now. We're working on all of the UI and skins, so it's a work in progress. But the quests do work. We just turned them off for now. So if you go back to the quest tab, you'll see if they're open, you'll be able to click on them and actually see the tasks that are required to complete that quest. So this is just a brief high level overview of what you can do in the scene with high level quests. There'll be mini tasks like Mies mentioned with the gamification and the daily tasks and daily little bite runners and things like that.
As far as sorry to cut you off. As far as
Go ahead.
achievements go, are there any thoughts on like how an individual may receive the achievement? Whether will it be on chain or will it just be kind of an achievement that you get within Angzaar?
Isn't that so funny, Alex and me? So we've created a contract that is going to have all of this on Polygon. And so our goal is to take everything from the database and move it to Polygon. The first step are achievements. So let's say we have, I think, 44 achievements right now. One of them being kill 5 enemies, right? And so if you kill 5 enemies, you're going to get the kill 5 enemy Polygon token in your wallet as an achievement award. We're actually working on making them sort of soul bound, so you cannot trade them.
I love it. And so with that, with kind of like the achievement question, let's say user kind of goes through, gets every achievement they possibly can. Will Angzaar kind of be like a ever-changing experience that where like, you know, kind of like development is never truly done? There's always like going to be a new season, or it's gonna develop in parallel with Decentraland? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
Well, no, this is a great segue, because something I wanted to bring up is that a lot of the legwork of what we're doing here at a high level, mostly Blastrom on the programming side, is setting up the infrastructure that is flexible enough to allow us to continue to develop quickly after the infrastructure is in place. So we have so many ideas that we want to incorporate even following this version 1 that will satisfy, you know, quote unquote, the DAO proposal. But something to keep in mind is that, you know, we have so much that we want to include beyond that. And this infrastructure, once it is in place with V1, I think it's going to allow us to create a lot of that quicker than we were versus this first time when we're creating everything for the first time. So it just opens up a lot of future potential to continue to expand and continue to, you know, we're not a AAA game studio. We have 6 months to build an MMO, but we want to continue building onto this as time goes on. You know, that's the main takeaway, I think, is what I'm trying to say here. It's just that the ideas go on, and we're here. We'll be here after the 6 months. So definitely a lot to continue to develop on idea-wise.
Yeah, I mean, long story short, our DAO proposal said 5 quests. I think Mies came up with 25, 33, something like that. I mean, there's a ton. This, you know, we wanted to make it feel good. Again, Alex mentions we're not AAA. We're not even an indie studio. Like Decentraland isn't even an indie platform. No offense to Decentraland, but it's like, it's not, right? So, you know, we're trying to manage expectations, but deliver something amazing. And so we've already we have a roadmap, and we want our story to fit not just in the boundaries of our DAO proposal. We want it to fit in a genuine manner in the platform we're building. So we approach this project not just to satisfy the DAO proposal. We approach this project to like build something epic that has a massive storyline with all kinds of things happening outside of that are definitely going to be beyond version 1.
That is awesome. Yeah, and I'm sure as kind of development continues, you will kind of develop some tools that will help you kind of develop easier in a way. All right, so I guess I'm sorry to cut you off before. Let's get back to the menu here. We were at quest logs, probably going into character.
Yeah, just yeah, these are the only other ones that are characters, the only other ones. So, you know, you've got your loadout, you've got your image of your person, if you have any items equipped, inventory, things in your satchel, your stats. These are actual live stats from the server. So we've given you templated stats. Factions, we're gonna have banners here. Again, you're gonna be able to choose which faction you want to be a part of as the storyline evolves. You have a rank and a reputation that goes up and down. So it's not always a positive direction for your faction reputation. Again, making it feel more immersive, not so linear. We do have linear quests in the linear story, but there's a lot of decision making that we want to give to the players that makes it feel like, oh shit, I want to come back and like try this out. Not like, okay, I've done all this, I'm done. And so that's what we're trying to get away from.
I see it, and that's awesome. And then the rest is just events, wiki, support,
Yeah.
settings. And to everyone listening, make sure to join the Angzaar Outpost Discord. There is a channel here for a giveaway. Let's see, it's called Beyond the NFT Wearable Claim. Make sure to drop in there, drop your address, and what will our viewers be receiving?
So the viewers will be receiving our Angzaar Lotus wings. And so if you want to take a look, look them up in the marketplace. Just look up Lotus wings, Angzaar, Angzaar, and yeah, you can see what they're like.
Looks like we've got Cube Man Official in the audience wearing them right now.
Yeah, I like him with those shoes. He met and his helmet.
Oop, did I spell that wrong? Or maybe Lotus. No. What was I supposed to look up again? Sorry.
It's not going to be the store. You got to go to listings probably if there's any, like, because we don't have. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
There they are. Oh my God, these things. Okay, I'm gonna have to drop my address too.
I mean, they're RGB, and so they change with your hair color. So there's all kinds of varieties. You can change it to fit your outfit, and it's definitely one of my favorite wearables. I'm wearing it right now.
Oh, I forgot I'm not at DollHouse. I like switched back, thinking I was there.
That's okay.
All right, so I guess we can continue on. I'm just like switching through the screens, like back from like the Angzaar that's deployed in world to your world to like the actual Angzaar world. It feels more developed. What cool things has the team been working on lately?
Well, I think we should just get into the Dunepunk HQ, or do you guys want to stay around the hub?
Yeah, I'm ready now. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
All right, let's teleport to the Dunepunk markets.
Would it be this one? Yep.
It should be the top left.
And here we are.
Did you do the top left one? I think so. Yeah. Okay, we're all here. Nice. So this is the Dunepunk headquarters. This is part of the faction. So the other opposite corner, as Alex mentioned, will be cyberpunky, very different design. So let's all go up. And there's a couple ways to get up. I'm not going to tell you how.
One being fly mode.
Yeah. So
cheater.
Oh wait.
Oh,
I'm already.
I'm just kidding.
you can fast travel.
Yep. All right. Right here. I already fell for it. Just like not even looking at the ground.
All right, so I'll meet you guys on this second level.
Be careful for traps.
Yeah. So we don't have this synced yet. We're still working on the animations. That's why I'm moving faster than you, Sinful. But let's get off at this level here.
Alrighty.
And if you go in here, you should be able to claim an item if you click that box.
Let's see.
Okay. Now check your inventory in the game.
Let's see.
No, it's not a wearable. It's an in-game item.
Oh, it's an in-game item. Okay. So pretty much like, well, where
Nope,
would I check? Like my OpenSea or my?
Your Angzaar menu. You want to go to your character.
Okay. And then inventory.
Did you click it? Let's see.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm not getting a message either, actually.
No.
I'm not either.
But there will be an item here.
You guys go tour around the Dunepunk. Let me check something really quick.
Okay.
Who's taking over the
welcome.
tour?
I'll let Mies guide the tour, but first off, welcome to the Dean Puck's headquarters. So far, work in progress.
Yeah, so this is this is probably gonna be the more common area here, where you're gonna see there's gonna be like I said, different ranks of members, right? So this is a faction base and outpost and headquarters, and so there's people and NPCs that will reside in or be in certain places, and sometimes that may be based on their rank within the faction and their social standing. And so there's gonna be some limitations as well, for players as they go through that. And so we have these 4 different rooms here, just like the one we walked in. And if you want to check it, they're all the same right now, but we've got 4 rooms up here. And let's see. Yeah, let's take the lift up. Let's wait till this lift comes down, then we'll go up to the top and get a little better view. But you can see up here, if you look at the ceiling, look at these rugs. I really like these rugs that our economists put together here.
All right, I'm like looking out for traps, making sure I don't fall for anyone.
You found like one of the only ones for now. I took the
So
wrong
far.
elevator. Yeah. So I only I took the wrong elevator. So give me a sec. I'll be up there.
I will be chilling.
We do have a nice prison / holding cell for anyone who does wrong by the faction, which we won't get into too much now, but it is there if you want to take a look at it later.
Of course. Oh, I see SRJH made it all the way to the top.
Ha ha! I wonder how he did that, eh?
He's hacking. He hacks.
Like side jumps off walls.
Oh, whoa! He's doing it right now. Hold up. How did he?
Yeah, he's probably flying. He's probably flying. I don't know. What do you think?
Depends. What is the animation that someone else sees when a
Just
certain character starts flying? Is it like a jumping
floating.
up? Okay.
You're just floating. So go over there, take a look down. Look down at the tents. You might like on the back end, like you might have to go down a level. Let's see here, like on the back end, the corner area where the Dune Punk tents are. Let's see here, like behind you. Yeah.
We'll follow our economists.
You can check out the views, man. Look at those views. They're there. Okay, so yeah, you see some of the tents there. So these tents, there's going to be some platforms added for the upper level ones. So those are still, work in progress. But there's going to be some other gamification going on, multiple types of gamification going on in these tent areas. And one of them we're going to show you here in a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, and to anybody who doesn't know, the tents are they are for anybody. Anybody can reserve them. So we're gonna have again this Dune Punk headquarters and Cyberpunk headquarters, and then these outlying tent rows and columns and clusters that people can show off and sell their own DCL items. And we'll expand upon that beyond DCL items. As an owner or a person that reserves the tent, you will be able to choose different interiors based on how much things you get in the game, vice versa. You'll be able to maybe play different music, do different things. We tested that at the Fashion Week, and it was really cool to see all those things. We've relocated these in sort of an L shape right now. So imagine this whole area around this Dune Punk thing. As more people want to reserve them, there are more tents available to show off their content.
Oh, that is cool. And yes, I do remember the concept, like the test back in Fashion Week. So let's say in the future, anyone that would like to be featured in one of these tents, what would be the best process or the best thing they could do in order to like get on a wait list or whatever it may be?
Just quickly refresh. The server is ready to go, but we would be hypocrites if we didn't try to make the reservation system in world. So before we like just mad dash sprinted to get this stuff ready for Fashion Week, and we said just drop your wallet address in Discord, these tents are going to have a different coloration or demarcation if they are available or if they are reserved. So you should be able to, in the future, when this goes live, to go up to an available tent, and if you don't already have one, reserve it. If you do have one, you can switch your tent location to that one.
Okay. Are there?
So it'll be all done in world. You walk in, there'll be a button that says, "This is available. Please, would you like to reserve it?" And boom, you reserve it, and it's yours.
I see. And will there be kind of a time limit on how long you can reserve your tent, or like how long you can have
Nope.
it until you? Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so we want these again, 3 legs. We've got the marketplace features, we've got the gaming and the community. This is sort of marketplace and community. We want to highlight creators and people that are making things for the platform. We want to highlight them inside the platform in a central spot. So this should be working. So if you come in here, you should be able to click on this item now, this box, and boom. Now, what's interesting is I also got that pop-up notification, and there you go. So you do have an item. So just quickly, there's a whole notification system that is out there. And so, we have the ability to tap into those messages, to send messages, things like that, for people to see. And so that's part of this whole infrastructure that Alex was talking about, is now we have a notification system. We're going to have an inbox messaging system that CPCs, players, the game, the quest, everything can tap into it.
Oh my god.
In-
Okay, and I see the little crosshairs. When I equip the ray gun, I see the little crosshairs on.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
if you enable it, now you're able to shoot things. And if you take it out of your equipment, see, look, Meese just got his item.
Oh, okay.
So you see the notifications. We can pick and choose what we want to show across the entire scene. Not just the instance of the realm, but literally the entire scene.
Mm-hmm. So if, like, let's say it was someone's birthday, you wanted to give them a shout out, kind of like you can have like a little pop-up come down as well.
We're gonna have a post office, and if you want to send a message to somebody, you can actually send them. You can send a message to them, or you can say, "I want to notify everybody right now in the scene of something," like you just said. You can type in "Happy Birthday, Sinful," and boom, you'll get that notification.
Oh, that's really cool and very neat idea for the post system. You can.
Yeah, I wanted to add one thing too to the market concept that we're bringing to Decentraland too, because I think it's an important point that we haven't touched on, and it's that we, as a collective, as a project, etc., we don't take any percentage whatsoever of any of these trade facilitations. So it actually, in the market, in the DApp stores, whether you're buying in the moat, whether you're buying a wearable, etc., land, even if it's land for, $1 million, we're not going to take a single percent, because it just utilizes the existing Decentraland marketplace contracts. So whether you're doing it through the website, or actually in world through Angzaar, it's going to be quite literally the same contractual experience on the blockchain. So that's just another cool thing to add.
And so is Angzaar still on schedule for its summer 2023 grand opening?
Yeah, so right now you can go buy stuff in the marketplace in world, not in the test server. You can go right now to 0-81 and go look at all the wearables, the emotes, the land, the names, go buy them. And we'll continue to refine and do quality assurance testing and things like that as we go for our launch. But we're slowly rolling some things out that are already available. The CPCs are already available. The market tents will become available again. A lot of this stuff is coming on board. SRJ just got his item. You'll notice the notifications as well. We have a working relationship with Audius, which is a decentralized music platform. So we built a plugin for Audius. And so we are using that, and we are going to have our own playlist in the scene that you can choose from the menu options. But we are also going to have an entire music hub inside the hub that you can go listen to the trending tracks that Audius is going to curate, but then also we're going to have contests and prizes and events for people to submit their songs to a community playlist. So it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, that is a really good a good way to use Audius, like have it like implemented into this build. Very excited to even see Audius like where how it can grow through, you know, Decentraland integration.
Yeah, we're going to have I mean, decentralized metaverse, decentralized music, it makes sense. We're going to have an entire one of the 8 stores as a music hub down there. So without further ado, I think we should go down by the tents and see if we can see some enemies.
Lead the way.
All right, let's do it. Let's jump out. Make sure I have my my gun. I think I do. I just don't have it equipped. So we're gonna jump out of here. Okay. So we all have stats again. Let me pull up your Discord. Yep. Okay. So you've got your stats up in your icon. You have your gun equipped, so you can do damage, and your attack is 5.
Alrighty.
Your attack speed is, you know, we're fixing that. It's actually 2.5, not 25. So there should be some random thieves in here if you want to. Let's go shoot some. And again, your distance is 3. So I don't know if you noticed that little hit thing there. So if you notice, we can attack the same enemies. And I keep missing.
Yep, me too. Oh, there we go.
There you go. So that was me. So go ahead and you do a hit.
Oh, I gotta
And
get really in their face.
Yeah, so your attack distance, we're working on all of that mechanics. But watch. Okay, let me attack this guy right here. See that?
You waved at him and he got hurt.
So the wave is a foreshadowing. We won't mention anything else about that. But we're creating again a really immersive experience so that other players can see your actions in the scene.
Will the robbers at one point be able to like run around, follow you around, you know, just constantly attacking you? Or do they never leave their post?
Yes, we have. Mies can go into just briefly like some of the different types that we have.
Yeah. So we're gonna have, you know, a few different types of enemies, maybe 3 or 4 different ones in the scene. And so these are kind of like entry level enemies that we're going to be introducing. And so these are kind of like the tier 1 enemies that are maybe going to be for like the lower end newbies. And these are introduced as well in one of the quests. So in one of the first quests that players go through, then they will get to start their PvE experience and interact with some of these petty thieves. And so we also have 3 other enemies that are, these petty thieves are going to be more basic in nature. They're just kind of more of like melee attack. They're going to be easier to roll over as far as like from a player perspective and some other things like that. So the other mobs though are going to be a little more, you know, complex, a little harder, and maybe a little more complicated. And so, you know, these other 3 different mobs, we're looking at one or all, most of the other ones maybe have ranged attacks. And so we also may have some that have area of effect attacks as well, to where maybe multiple players or all of the players within a certain area may be impacted. And so there's such a large variety. There's really so much potential of different attacks and combat effects that, you know, we're starting off with 3 to 4 different mobs. And so we're just going to really start out with probably, you know, 1 or 2 of those different combat effects to begin with. But that's kind of an intro. Yeah, that's kind of an intro to our mobs.
I'm so excited to see, like, because like Lastrom has mentioned, or I think it was you earlier, like you The team had set out like maybe what was it, like 6 quests for the grant, but of course, you know, the passionate ones will always over deliver. So you have like about more than 20, and I'm excited to see what you could do with like just all the different NPCs that you can implement, and also bad guys. And I also see a line of bandits here. Now I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. It took a little while for me to ray gun these two bandits with you guys.
Yeah, so this is just for us to have a ton of them to test. These guys are, static by nature, but they will be walking around doing different things. But wanted to just showcase the multiplayer aspect that you get to see me attack them react to it. We all actually share in the reward of XP, let's say. And so there's some interesting mechanics too about how the enemy chooses a player. So if you go to your stats, you should have 2 kills and some experience now.
Yep.
And so each enemy tier has their own experience that they give out. And so let's say if it's 100, which it isn't, but let's say it is, and all 4 of us do the exact same amount of damage, we'll each receive 25 XP.
Nice. I definitely see the potential with like boss raids here, like going in with your friends.
So we plan on having that exactly.
Ooh. Any thoughts on expanding kind of like the underground of the underground area of Angzaar for
Are you on our team?
Just bright ideas. I'm only the idea guy. I don't.
Sinful, we're gonna have to stop you right there because you're starting to approach territory we just can't talk about.
Guys, all right, it's simple. Tell everybody you're on our team. Okay, fine. No, you know what though? It's interesting you say that because that's kind of how we are. As Alex talked about, like we're creative people making creative stuff for other creative people. We're all gamers in the same creative space. And I keep saying creative because you just mentioned something that runs in our process. And so that's what's so fun about this is we're not building this for a brand or anybody. We know and we feel like other people will enjoy what we think we enjoy. And so that's what we're really excited to build.
Totally, and it does, just from talking to the entire Angzaar team, I can tell that every single individual within the team is passionate about this project. How big is the team to this point?
It's probably about 20 right now.
Probably about 20. Wow. And how many did you like kind of originally begin with?
Well, so like originally, we applied for our grant. I think we had like 30 or 32 different people, that were interested. And the thing though is that we had issues with our grant in the beginning, even though we got approved and everything else, very quickly had great reception from the community. We had some issues with like contracts and other stuff and getting access rights to the land. And so we could actually, use it to test and develop and do things like that. And so that really, it pushed us back. Really, it was 2 months plus like the holiday month of December because we couldn't really, that was not really a good month to start. And we just had too many blockers from team members and other things. So, I mean, really, it pushed our project back 3 months. And so, with that time frame, it really affected, I think, a lot of people's schedules and their availability. And so other people, that maybe they just had other things going on. And so they took on other projects or they already had prior commitments or, other things. And so when we, finally got everything going again, 3 months after our actual, grant was approved, I think it was about like 3 months, that's when we finally got started. And then, we had to see, who was there and interested and available and start from there. And just really, losing those 3 months though it was kind of tough because we lost some of that momentum and that interest. And, we had to really adapt to it a lot, I think. And but yeah, that's kind of how we got started.
Yeah, definitely. I can tell. I can see, or not tell. I can see how you may lose momentum within not like from not working for those 3 months. I'm happy that the land got situated. You have like a big area to work with. Would you say you have enough resources when it comes to land that's needed to fully develop Angzar? Or would you say like there are like kind of like some some tricks within the development that you guys are using to kind of bypass limitations?
That's a great question. There are a lot of tricks going on, and so something that I think is interesting, it's kind of technical, but if you've experienced the fast travel or the teleportation system, you'll notice that it's instantaneous. And that was one of our guiding decisions as we started this project was, we have this mega plot of landed parcels. We can divide it up into like quadrants or, a grid system or any sort of estate structure that we want, which would allow us more data to work with as far as like deploying more content. But here's the thing is that as soon as you split the land up into a couple different estates, now the transportation system isn't immediate. So it led us to make a lot of design decisions immediately from the beginning that, so for example, like you'll notice that the artistic style, it's very Decentraland. It's using gradient atlases. It's a super efficient method of us creating a lot of content using very few resources and being low on the data size. So the benefits, I think, outweigh the negatives of having to work within these limitations that we've sort of self-imposed on ourselves. But the reason for doing so is just a better user experience as a whole. There's no loading times. Once you're in Angzar, you're in Angzar. Everything you do in Angzar is you're already loaded in, so that right there is huge. Personally,
Yeah.
and that's really led into everything else that we've created off of that. So
Yeah, like on that point, I think they limit it to 300 megabytes now, right? Per scene. So it used to be 15 megabytes per parcel, but now there's a cap. So if you do 300 divided by 15, that's 20. A 20 is a 4x5,
Yeah,
right? So think of we have we have 400 parcels and we are building in the exact same limitations visually, data wise, as a 4x5.
Okay.
So, but in doing so, we have learned a lot. Could this be pretty high poly? Yes, we have like 4.9 million poly counts that we could work with across the board, but it would be a broken experience, as Alex mentioned.
Okay. And so maybe you have already answered this with the last answer, but maybe there is another thing to it. What are some of the trials that the team has had to overcome through development? Or have there been any pesky bugs that the team took a little more time than they really needed to overcome, or kind of everything's been smooth sailing?
We definitely had some challenges. I think when, like, not only from the beginning, like I mentioned, but we also decided to take on some additional things and to restructure actually our development plan a little bit. And we did that around Metaverse Fashion Week. And so Metaverse Fashion Week, we felt was an excellent opportunity to showcase, the beginning of our scene and what we already had, and some of just the integrations and all of that. And it was an opportunity. We felt it was an opportunity to feature some of the DCL creators and people that maybe weren't on the main stages or in some of these other places. And so we immediately wanted to start including people from the community and other places to come test out our scene. And we had a live event, so we had a live DJ in scene, and we also had people helping us test a few different things out, like claiming creator tents and things like that. So I think it was really awesome. We had, I'm trying to remember how many hundreds of people we had through in like 4 days. We had like hundreds and hundreds of people through. So it was incredible, Metaverse Fashion Week. But we definitely moved some like month 5 priorities that weren't that early on, and we moved them to like month 2. And so we had to make some adjustments for that, definitely.
I see. My next question is from someone in the crowd watching. It is about project management. How many developers are involved, and how do you dispatch tasks and follow assignment or advancements?
There's myself and then Dogman, and we use Monday as a project management software across all the teams. So we have art, programming, audio, social media, Quest as different individual teams. I would say the biggest challenge with that is like we have our DAO proposals milestones that we have to hit, 5 quests, all the marketplace functionality. Anything we've done beyond that is because we're creative, and I think that's the hardest part. Is we'll get an idea and we'll riff on it and we'll implement it because that's how creative we are. There's no company telling us we can or cannot do something, or we need to or not need to do something. So I think that's the focus of what we're trying to achieve. Has been one of the more fun challenges, because this can be a really robust, and we want it to be a really robust project beyond the DAO proposal. So imagine we have a small bucket of things that we have to get in the DAO proposal, but we have an entire dump truck of ideas. And so it's really hard to put all of those dump truck of ideas into a small little Tupperware.
Totally.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And just to add to that, I mean, being flexible with the process is huge, because our process and our vision has changed a few times. We've had to pivot because of a few different, a technical thing might arise, or a new sort of game-changing idea might come up that we all agree is a better way to do something, and we'll have to adapt to it. So, and I think that's a lot of, if you look at game design, even in like the big competitive AAA world, almost rarely are games delivered on time. And it's not because people are lazy or they're slacking off, or like the project management is bad. It's just, my sense of it is that there's a lot of discovery that happens through the process of consolidating your ideas into a concise package that needs to be delivered at the end of the day, and it has to be functional. And the truth is that we're doing like the testing, the concepting, and the design, and like the QA and everything all simultaneously. So there's a lot of non-traditional aspects about this project, and how we manage ourselves, and how we're dispersed geographically, and everything. So, I think adaptability is number one, the hardest challenge, but also sort of the most fun thing to figure out as on the project management side of things.
Totally. And I guess this might be like a second, the second half of that question. I kind of like it's an improvised question, so if I fumble it, please forgive me, guys. This question's for Lastrum. Could you give us like an idea of the process that goes behind putting a team together for a project of this scale?
Yeah. Like I said, last slice, we all got together, and I was teaching people how to do stuff in the SDK. I taught myself how to do an NFT, and then we all came together and we're building stuff. And then companies saw that and wanted to hire us officially to build stuff. And so it was kind of like, okay, you have a skill, you have a skill, you have a skill. Do you guys want to work on this project and get paid for it? And then it formalized into that. You know, some members in Last Slice don't have skills at all, so they stayed on the social, you know, the social part of the NFT Discord and things like that. So we have roles and people that have sort of entrenched themselves in their skill sets. And so when we do have a project, whether it's secretive or not, I'll throw it out to the NFT group. And those that know that they have a skill or maybe want to try to participate, no one is ever turned away. I'll say, here's an idea. Who wants to join? I give it like a week. Depends on the project timeline. See all the people that react, create a private channel for it, tell people we're under NDA or not. And then if people want to work on it, they stay, and we create a Discord for a project this size, and we set up roles and things like that. So we have a really good group of skilled, creative, talented Web3 first creators in Last Slice. And so it's just more fun doing things with people that you've been around, you want to hang around. We're not that corporate at all. Actually, we're not corporate at all. I mean, we not at all. So it's been really nice. You know, we get to, this project has sort of been a relief. Our biggest project to date is one that isn't by a brand, and it's this one. And so we're really excited. It's hard, I would say, challenging to get people to show up, especially in this space, because this might be your second job, this might be your third job, this might even not be a job, it might be a hobby, a learning experience. For me, I converted, and it's a full-time job. 2 years ago, I went all in on this space. So if you don't want to show up, that's okay. You know, we'll find people that'll get it done, and you can see the creativity that arises from it. So it's there is by no means like a interview or resume process at all. It's kind of like, here's a really cool idea, who wants to work on it?
I see. And so let's say it's going back to the grant, like did you kind of have full confidence that your team could deliver what is on the grant, or has it kind of been one of those things that it's like we're just developing as we go and we will get it done?
No, the former. Our team is, you know, Alex and I, we were talking about, we found a GLB we were working on from July 26, 2019 together inside Decentraland. So, you know, Mies joined Last Slice really early in 2021 as well. And, you know, unconventional in their own right. You know, Mies doesn't work for a writing company. He doesn't work for a publisher. He doesn't work for a gaming studio, and he's leading the Quest team in project management. So, with that being said, it's not that I had ever any doubt we could do it. It's the challenge of making it so epic that everyone's going to love it. We know we can deliver what we're going to say. We just wanted to make sure everybody could at least see our vision to get the proposal passed. So that, in that right, I was a little nervous because, you know, we had been paid, at least publicly, to everybody who had joined Decentraland. It's like, oh, Last Slice gets paid for everything. Well, we never get projects from Decentraland at all. It was all outbound traffic to us. It was never inbound from the foundation. And so I was nervous that the community would see this and say, oh, this is a cash grab. But we're true to our word. We're true to our creativity, and we're true to what we deliver. And I think our past projects, even though they were paid for brands, speak for themselves in terms of what we can deliver in terms of time frame and things. So I had no doubt that we could deliver on whatever we set our mind to.
Totally. And I kind of have to like give the Last Slice their flowers for kind of, you know, being fearless in the sense that, okay, we can't go through, we don't need to go through foundation. We could literally like go through the community route and get community support for content that we want.
Well, yeah, honestly, that's the more validating, the more motivating way to go about it. You know, understanding that the community is looking at us and believes in us, and we're building this for them as much as for us. And in the end, we just want everyone to enjoy it. I mean, that's big pressure, and I think we all take that very seriously. So
And in all honesty, it like kind of like doing it for a community that you care about kind of makes you want to take that extra push, you know, work that extra hour it could be, or make that extra storyline, whatever. Uh, but
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
it's like
that's
motivation.
the fun part is, yeah, we're not doing it for a brand. Like, you know, um, there was a brand, we had like a 185 page brand deck that we had to adhere to, colors, guidelines, text, fonts, things like that, right? That's awesome. It was a really amazing experience. But we were confined to exactly what they wanted to do. With, a lot of hearing what we thought worked in the metaverse, but we have carte blanche on whatever the F we want to do here. Granted, the DAO proposal, but like if we want to riff on something, which might be a good segue into the CPCs, that is not part of the DAO proposal at all. And that's one of the most fun features of the scene. And that was a riff that we all had together and said, okay, fuck it, let's do it. And so we thought we would like it. We thought the community would like it. We thought we could engage the community. And there's no brand telling us yes or no. The foundation doesn't say yes or no. It's a really unique space, kind of high level, that we're in with Decentraland, because you can't do that at Facebook. You can't, Facebook can't say, hey, Last Slice, go make us a messaging service for our platform. We'll pay you $250,000 or whatever the grant was. Like, you can't do that at Amazon. You can't do that on Instagram. You can't do that on TikTok, right? Fortnite is finally opening up that creative ability to its users, which is absolutely amazing. And so we have tapped into a platform that is decentralized that allows us to say, hey, what the heck do we want to do as a community? Oh, okay, let's go build it. This isn't rocket science. The marketplace stuff was on the foundation roadmap and it was archived like a year ago. So they wanted to work on it. They didn't have enough resources. We said, hey, we'll pick up the ball. We want this. The community is going to want this. The future community is going to want this. Let's build it.
Totally. And I would in the future, I kind of like, I don't know, maybe like upon like logging in as a first user, maybe there could be an option to like drop into Genesis Plaza or drop into Angzaar Outpost. I feel like Angzaar could also be like a location where like a new user could drop into and kind of like get more of a feel of like what the world is, what you can do, what are the possibilities, opposed to kind of a Genesis Plaza. Like, yes, Genesis Plaza is very polished. I have a love for Genesis Plaza and everything that's around it, but I feel like you can't really capture the best first user experience if like if you do what like most new users do, which is like log in and then they Call of Duty the fuck out into like the hole, and then just run around and then they're like, I'm lonely.
I will say some people don't even jump down the waterfall. And I think, no other, we redeveloped a plaza. No one else has done that. No one else has taken that on. And, at the foundation, there is no team that is dedicated to maintaining any of the plaza. Not one. And there's actually 9 plazas and 4 of them are replicated. So there's not that much content on 400 parcels times 9.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of empty or replicated land. So we said, look, let's make an amazing experience. Let's show how it can be done. Set the benchmark for we're not taking any VP for the land. We just have deploy rights, and let's make something epic enough that maybe this will replace Genesis Plaza because there's a team behind it that is going to constantly update it for what the community feels and make it more vibrant and make it a destination that always has something. And inevitably what we, now there's people at the foundation working on Genesis Plaza. I mean, that thing has sat dead there for a while. Some updates here and there, but there's no team behind it. So, whether we push the innovation or it happens, we want this project to set the standard for how to redevelop a lot of parcels.
I mean, I definitely think it will set the standard because like all the after Angzaar's developed and all the games are in, all the quest lines are in, I feel like Foundation will have like kind of a proof of concept of what are the possibilities if you allow the community to develop and maintain these plazas, and could even like set a fire under their butts and have them even like revamp Genesis Plaza to begin with.
And that's exactly what's happening right now.
Let's go. I feel like foundation and community need each other, like in this space, and we learn a lot as users, or like myself as a user. I learned a lot from the foundation, and I feel like the foundation members are like slowly, but like slowly learning from us as well, like what we want to see, what they need to focus on, maybe even bug reports, because as far as I kind of know, it's like not many foundation developers really use the platform longer than for test purposes, which could log in, be like, okay, this is working, bye, no more testing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that might be a symptom of always being in front of your computer building it out. Like I don't know if I was building Call of Duty how much I would play Call of Duty. I might get sick of it, or I might just like I got to get away from my computer and I got to go touch some grass. I got to go do something else. So I get that part of it, but there's three pillars. There's the foundation, there's the DAO, and then there's the community. And so the plaza land is controlled by the foundation, but what can we do as a community to activate that? Because there's a lot more community members than there are foundation members. And so we should activate those inactive pieces of land, not just because it's there for the taking, or you want to deploy something. It's because we want Decentraland to thrive and attract new users.
Totally. And I guess this might be a good time to segue into the CMPC. I know that you had mentioned that you wanted to share some updates on them.
Yeah, so if we just teleport back to the main hub, what we did is a riff. We were talking about doing things and having scenes being interactive and things like that. So I think it was Alex that said, what if we call them CPCs? I believe it was you, Alex, right? That you said that?
Yeah.
An NPC is a non-player character. A CPC is a cloned player character. And so we have the opportunity to clone yourself as a player, and it will have the wearables that you have on at any point in time in the scene. So if you're off at True Band Room or the ABC Clubhouse or anywhere else, and I jump into Angzaar and you have your clone, I will see your clone dresses, whatever you're wearing. Pretty cool. But then we said, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. They're almost like extras on a movie set, right? Kind of filling the background, walking around, providing a little ambiance, like a little movement. And then we said, well, what if we made them talk? What if we allowed people to put prompts into their CPCs? Not AI yet. This isn't AI. This is a user controlling their clone. Something unique that doesn't really happen in any games. And then we said, what else can we do with it? And so we asked the community, and I think it was Kanessa said, I would love to add emotes to my CPC. So we added that. So now you can add emotes to your CPC when they're engaged from somebody else. What we're also going to do is on your screen here is, instead of having to go to the marketplace and copy and paste, what we're going to do is we might have we have all of this functionality in World. Why don't we bring the emote filtering and functionality right here on your screen so that you can pick and choose from an image which emote you want to do?
Okay, kind of like a drop down,
it'll be like a little browsing experience, maybe 8 icons of the emotes, and then you could just paginate through them and click on one, get more info, and say, okay, that's cool. Click out to the marketplace or whatever one you select is the one that will be on your CPC.
Is this active right now?
This is. So if you go to the marketplace, you'd have to copy and paste a contract. Yeah. So instead of doing that, again, we're riffing. We said, okay, well, let's just let's bring all of this. We've already done it in the store, in the scene. Just copy the contract.
Okay, just contract. Okay.
Contract, and then you want to do that, and then a colon, and then the item ID. So it would be 1.
Okay. Wait, wrong Angzar. Rio Canessa just pulled up in the Angzar that
Yeah.
is currently developed. Okay, so
And then colon 1, I think, was the item ID.
:1.
Yeah. And then so you should be able to save that. And now, wherever your CPC is, I believe you should have an emote for your CPC when you go and talk to him.
Let's see. Join us community building. Mew. Did I have to refresh by any chance?
No, you shouldn't. This is a good test. As just quickly though, as you're looking, those spinning icons, those are links that you have put in there. So anybody watching, we've expanded the functionality. Now you can have your CPC be a marketing tool for whatever you want, right? Like you've got all your socials on here, so that's really cool. We're gonna add more functionality beyond that, so stay tuned.
These things are so cool, and like as you guys mentioned earlier, that these CPCs will be implemented into the storytelling aspect of things.
I mean, at some point in time, yeah, I'm sure that they will be. Realize that. So we have 3 different things going on, in our hub. The CPCs weren't really a part of the original storyline. There's something that we brought in afterwards that we wanted to have for the community. And so going back to kind of our 3 tenants, what we have is we've got like the marketplace, the community, and then we have some of like the gamification when it comes to like player versus environment or mini games and some of that kind of stuff. And so this kind of falls more in line with like the community stuff and a little less on the like PvE gamification side and the factions, at least at this point in time. So, we had kind of already had the original storyline written out when we developed the clones. And so, with just our original like 5 quests that we're kind of starting out with, we're just very limited because we're, we're introducing people to not only the scene and Angzar as a whole, but then also we're introducing them to 2 different sets of factions and groups of people, and we're doing all of that in only 5 quests. And so, just that beginning and intro part, that's just the beginning. But as far as like the first part and everything else, they're not currently a part of the base storyline. So I'm not gonna say they won't be, because they have their place in Angzar, and they will have a place in some type of gamification and some type of reward systems most likely. And but yeah, that's where the clones are right now, at least from my side.
Okay, there we go. I re-put in the emote. Maybe I didn't do it right earlier. It's a good time to test, as Lester mentioned.
You know what? I don't. Yeah, it's a good time to test. Yeah, see, we have 3 environments. We've got local, we've got testing, and we got production. So it's always hard to go from all the ones. But this is good. I'm gonna put a prompt, and I'm trying mine as well.
And I'm a big fan of when you create your CMPC or CPC, or want to edit them in the future, you'll have some analytics. Could you tell us what kind of analytics we'll have? Will it be kind of like clicked links, or how many people interacted with your CMPC or CPC?
Yeah. So there's a lot of analytics going on right now. Every time you talk to a CPC, every time you do something, fast travel, all kinds of different things. And so we want to expose some of that to the CPC human through the machine, where you can see maybe if you are in the future going to be able to do giveaways or something, or tap into the quest system, how many people not only talk to your CPC but actually do something that your CPC is saying, things like that.
Oh man, that's going to be a lot of very valuable data, like as the space moves forward. So kudos for implementing that to the CPC system.
Yeah, I mean, and look, again, that was, as Mies mentioned, like that is not part of our proposal.
Hmm.
And so we put a lot of time and effort into it, but we're still on track with everything else. And we think, since we're not bound by anyone else telling us what we can't do, we're going above and beyond where we think we can within the time frame to deliver some epic stuff that the community is already loving.
Yes, yes. Everyone's been having fun. I even bring new users here to Angzar so that they can make their CPC. It's always fun to see their reactions to like, hey, I have a little person in the world. Like, let's go. Then I like tell them like you can edit your prompt. You can get them to say whatever you like. Here, add some links. Like I love that the Angzar team is going above and beyond on their grant. My final question for tonight, planned question, uh, is to anyone wanting to explore the Decentraland grant route, like to build an experience for Decentraland, what would be the best piece of advice you can give them?
I mean, just from my perspective, I think that you got to be. I think that being a member of the community is a good route to go, and participating and meeting people and creating or adding value and being curious. I think that all of those things are very important, and I think that having time in like spending time in the community and the scenes, and so like if you're creating games, playing the games that are in Decentraland and seeing what's already out there and all of that, and so I think that time, just like anywhere else, spending time and getting to know the people and the places and the things that are in Decentraland and that make it what it is right now. And because you have to know what's already out there in order to understand maybe what you can improve upon, or something else. You don't want to do something that's already been done.
Exactly. I love everything you just
Right.
said. And to any number wallets out there listening to this, that's what you do. You gotta get involved, see what's out there. And I think I did cut off. Was it Arconimus? That one.
Oh, no, yeah, no worries. Mies, what you said was excellent. The only thing I was gonna add is just your value proposition should be really clear from the get-go. The community should really understand what it is that you're proposing and the benefit to them as a whole. And if you are planning on monetizing, like be very transparent because, in our case, we're not at the moment in any way. We're thinking about it in some future senses, but we're going to continue to be transparent with all of that always. But if there is that component, transparency is a great policy. Communication always is helpful. But going back to that value proposition, just whatever you're proposing, if the people vote yes, stick to it. Always think back. What was the original thing that we're proposing? Are we still creating that? Are we getting too far off the course? Just always, that's been helpful personally for me throughout this project too, is just reminding yourself to stay on track with the high level goal that we're trying to reach here. So.
It is a monumental goal, and let's see. I guess I have one more question. Will there be Angzar outposts in any other metaverse platforms? Has that been a thought for the team? In efforts maybe even to drive traffic to Decentraland or whatever it could be.
Yes.
Let's go.
I mean, look, it's an open world. Decentraland's the best. We love it. We want to continue to build in here. But I think we would not be the smartest individuals if we didn't try to expand what we're doing.
Totally.
Not to say that there's always there can't be a Decentraland tie-in to anything else we do. We were just on a call 2 hours ago talking about something else, of how epic it would be to have this in this other platform and have them work in conjunction. We've created some things that are sort of agnostic to a metaverse. Neats as one of them, right? They used to only work in Genesis City. Now they work in Worlds. They can work in Hyperfi. They can work in, we can make them work wherever. CPCs, a lot of different things. Maybe check this out. You start a quest in Decentraland and you finish it in On Cyber, or you started an On Cyber and you finish it in Decentraland. So there's a lot of potential, and I just think we would not be the smartest individuals if we didn't at least have that on the table for conversation.
Yep. Here. So I'm sorry to do this. This is the first time I ever had to do this. I've drank too much water, so pee break, everyone. Be right back.
And while Sinful is gone, can't get the Twitch. Are you guys on Twitch? Maybe you could see if there's any questions coming in on Twitch. But we're super stoked. We're finishing up month 4 on May 9th. Will be our 4 months of development in a 6-month project. So by July 9th, all of this should be completely developed, delivered. Again, in Genesis City, all of the marketplace functionality is available. We are using the exact same marketplace contracts as the marketplace website. We are using the same gasless transactions, the same transaction server. It's actually Decentraland's transaction server. Anybody can use that code base. It's on their documentation website. Just being transparent about it, as Alex mentioned, we don't take a cut of any of that. We want this to be built for the community currently, but also for future users that want to come in. And if this does go VR, we don't want us to take off our VR headset in our living room, go sit our butts down on the computer, buy a wearable, and go back into our living room and put our headset back on just so that we can use that wearable. I think that's a really broken user experience, one that isn't going to help bring in new users and certainly isn't going to help us go forward. So we're trying to develop things that will help the entire platform, not just our community that we currently have of 38 users in Decentraland.
Are we sure it's 38? I think we're up to at least 39 at this point.
I think we broke 40.
The Wednesday community Twitter space will say otherwise. We have more than 40. Even this Twitch,
Love that.
even this, kind of the Tonight Show. Like, we definitely had a good support today, and just want to take this time to thank everyone for being here and enjoy the show. Let's see. I'm all out of questions, guys. Are there any features to Angzaar that we haven't explored tonight that you would like to cover?
That you just hit the nail on the head. And Mies just mentioned us separately. Alex, are you able to show what Mies mentioned and then have Sinful stream that?
Oh yeah, totally.
Possibly.
Yeah, we could do that. How do we want to stream it? Should I pull it up in Blender and
and then share screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. I'm already in Blender.
All right. He's working. He's been working the whole time, dude. He multitasks and kills it.
I have been.
Dude, he works like a beast. He's like he's already a cyberpunk, man. He's like almost a robot now.
I'm actually AI. I was trained to tell you that, dude.
I'm a fat pizza Dune Punk delivery boy that just is sitting over here in the desert.
He's really
that's why my pizza was late.
Let's see. I'm ready when you are for the screen share.
So,
Yeah, just
Mr. Alex,
hold
you
it
guys
up.
want to take this one as a new feature coming? The suspense.
Right? I'm so
Yeah. Done.
here we go. Got it.
Again, not part of our proposal. At least I don't think so. You guys correct me. if I'm wrong.
No, it wasn't. We wanted to add this later on.
So, imagine you're walking through the desert, and in the distance, in one of the corners, there's this megalith of a Colosseum, an ancient dystopian relic coming out of the sand and that is what we call this Coliseum / arena. Let me know if it's streaming okay.
It is. It is. I can see the
Okay.
Coliseum.
So this is from one of our very talented team members, Nash, who's not here on the call with us, but he's present in spirit through this model. The scale of this is absolutely massive, and it is a work in progress. So keep that in mind for sure. Obviously, there's no materials yet, but the intended use of this brilliant piece of architecture is really entirely for the community use. We have, well, I shouldn't say entirely, because we have a lot of also gamification use cases for this arena. But one community sense that we've talked about is having users be able to rent out the arena for events. This center space will be modular, so we intend to have different models to drop in here, whether you're doing a fashion show, whether you're doing a DJ, like a live concert, a TED Talk, if you want to do some PvP combat, you know, we're trying to make this Coliseum really our sort of multi-use facility within the Angzaar Plaza. So if the hub is the central place for commerce and socialization, then this is our central place for sort of that entertainment and community engagement perspective. So
that's a really cool build, and I am totally familiar with Nash's work. Wow. And will this Coliseum be available, let's say, for any community members that may want to host their personal fashion shows? Like, could they reach out to Angzaar, kind of book the Coliseum for that?
I think we absolutely want to say yes. We're still working out exactly, you know, what the mechanisms are of how to rent this out and what the capacity of that is. But yes.
Nice. And oh man, I can totally see some duels happening here too.
Oh yeah, a little Dark Souls influence, maybe a little bit of everything in this for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna have let's just say there's gonna be some epic battles happening from our side, at least we hope to and aspire to have happen here. But again, you know, whether it's renting or reserving, we're still figuring out the best approach. Again, all the money that we're making on this project is from our grant proposal. So, you know, we want to continue to build this. We're trying to find ways to do that. And for future versions or however, but we want this to be available to as many people as possible. And again, in world, not a website. You know, some limitations where if we do need 3D models or something, but you know, the booking system and whatever types of maybe token gating system, we want it all to happen in the world.
And that's one of the most important parts of this project, making everything in world and available for the user in world. I'm very optimistic at I'm very optimistic at the thought of what is possible with the Angzaar Plaza, and kind of the opportunities that it may present to users that are looking to showcase their work but don't know what website to go to sign up for whatever it may be, whether if it's like a foundation wearable competition or whatever it may be. Like, if you want a spot in Angzaar, come through in world, here's a sign up sheet, and and we'll get back to you.
Exactly. And we actually glossed over in the interior hub. We did this for Fashion Week. There are 8 little tree lawn areas, one of them being the CPC, the CBD welcome screen. But we want those to be rented out as well, or reserved, or have people be able to capture that moment for whatever marketing or whatever they're trying to promote. Or we have a contest and we say, you know, we do a music contest, or we do a rap battle, or we do dance offs. You know, we want to integrate as much as we can with the community in these other spaces. So, your screen right now, you're sitting on one that's being used, but you see the one with the trees is not. So maybe, the Vroomway you can see is over there, right? So Vroomway is sort of advertising and marketing. And so, we want to give analytics to Vroomway and say, okay, this is how many people actually clicked on your link to go somewhere. Maybe, their link currently is to their scene from here. So again, this is the social central hub of everything you can potentially or possibly want to do in Decentraland. And then there's all kinds of gamification, and then there's all kinds of other community driven content.
I love it. I'm so excited to see what will be finished by the grand opening. Do you have a set date for the summer release or the summer opening?
Our DAO proposal officially ends the 6 months on July 9th. So if that's a date, that's a date.
Well, now you know, everyone. July 9th, 2023. Make sure to check out Angzaar Outpost. Is the team planning like a grand opening party or any cool events to keep an eye out for?
Yeah, we got some stuff planned. We're definitely going to have another play test probably this week. So, if you want to participate and join our Discord, again, we are, as we probably everyone forgot, we're doing NFTs as achievements. So we want to be on top of the NFT space and not have this stuff just in a database. So maybe you get a token for being, a grandma's boy playtester, something like that. I don't know. We're going to come up with all kinds of stuff, but we're definitely going to have playtest throughout the next couple weeks and months of all of this stuff so that we get really good feedback. Because, a grand opening is cool and everything, but for us, it feels good. And I might be speaking out of turn here, but sometimes it just feels like it's a flash in the pan and nobody wants to come back. So I don't know. We're weighing our options.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to doing something like that, and I think I would rather, there's tough. Would you rather do multiple experiences and things over time, or do one thing? So just like Lasher said, there's so many great options and so much potential with our scene. It's just a matter of selecting one.
Yep, totally. So yeah, I guess I'm all finished with questions for tonight. Let's see. Let's pull the Uno reverse card. Any questions for me before we close out?
Yeah, what's your favorite thing so far?
My favorite thing about the Angzaar Outpost? I mean, I was totally in love with the CPC addition to everything. And I was just totally blown away by fly mode, discovering fly mode so far like earlier in today's interview. And let's see, I'm also very excited about kind of like how we spoke about the raid aspect of things. You will be able to kind of go in and fight bosses with your friends, and the same damage that you are doing to the boss will be seen by your friend, and you can actually do it together.
Yeah, that's that player interaction and making it more immersive, right? And that's really what our goal, one of our main goals is, making this immersive, interactive, and having players interact and see each other interacting with other NPCs.
Yeah, like just on that, imagine, there's on Discord or on socials or something, we say, hey, enemy boss is raiding Angzaar, go protect it. And if you don't jump in, you're going to miss it. And if you do jump in, you're going to see everybody attacking the same enemy together, right? Like a drone ship, and it unloads a bunch of clone drones or something, and you got to kill them all. The technology and the infrastructure, that's what we're building and we've built upon, so that we can manually change the weather. We can say, we want this to happen now, or it can be timed, from the server side. So all of it is going to happen in real time. It's going to be a thriving environment. That's what we really want to aspire to do.
And
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, and I say like, for myself, I'm wildlife photographer, and I actually started off doing landscapes. And so I think it's been awesome for me. I've really enjoyed the weather aspect and, bringing that in. And, I'm just really excited to see more movement in the world of like Decentraland in the air and the skies and things like that. And so, incorporating weather, there's so much potential there. Even that's just, we're that's kind of like just getting started.
Totally. So before closing out, any final words that you would like to say to the community, say to our friends, or future listeners as well? Let's start with Arconomus, Mies, and Lastrum.
Yeah, I just want to say, first off, if you've sat with us this whole time, thank you so much for being here, for being curious, for asking your questions. Please continue to do that. We definitely, we're building this for humans, not for CPCs, not for NPCs. So at its core, we want you guys to have fun. We want you guys to enjoy it. We want it to be the best experience it can be. So we're always open to hearing feedback and ideas. Although at this point it may be have to be for V2, since we're getting down to the wire in production mode here, trying to wrap things up. But yeah, just thanks so much for following along. I really appreciate every one of you for being here and being a part of this.
And thank you for being here, Arconomus. This is like our first time, actually being able to like sit down and chat. And, I hope we have many more moments like this. Well,
Oh yeah, dude, for
less
sure.
live, but like more moments together in a group chat, just chatting it up.
Absolutely Sinful. I hope so too, man. This has been fun so far, so definitely want to do more.
Thank you. I'll pass it over to Mies.
Yeah, I just want to thank you, for the opportunity to have us here on your show and to showcase and share with the community, everything it is that we've been working on. Because, I do think there's going to be lots of cool stuff here that the community members are going to be able to enjoy and benefit from, and just maybe even learn from. And so, my goal is not only to have it as like a fun destination or experience, but maybe there will be, it'll be a social hub, as well, in addition to being like the marketplace and the Angzaar hub. And so that's my hope. And so I want to, and we want to get feedback and continue to get feedback from the community in regards to like what they like the most, and any ideas that they may have. And I just want to remind people that we do have our Discord, so please join our Discord. And we have a channel in there at the top currently that's just for people that are listening in, as for Beyond the NFT. And so if you go in there, you drop screenshot and your address, then we will get you one of our Angzaar wearables, our very first Angzaar wearable, which is a pair of Angzaar Lotus wings. So I just want to let you guys know, remind you before we finish up here, that that's going on. And the best place to do is check out our Discord. Come on in, check it out. We do some live streams throughout the week, different times, and we'll be doing a QA session next month sometime as well. So we'd love to have you come on by.
I can't wait for the QA session. And question about the wearable claim, how long will that be active?
Let's go till tomorrow night.
Till tomorrow night. All right, everyone, you
Okay.
heard it. And I will remind everyone on Twitter as well, like kind of post a video of tonight's episode, and kind of like, if you missed last night's episode, here you go. Make sure to check out Angzaar and give them some details.
Yeah, and just a reminder on that, it will have utility in the scene. So just keep that in mind.
Ooh, utility. That's like the key word in Web3 as we keep going forward in all this craziness, really.
Yep, you said the keyword. We all gotta take a drink now.
Oh,
Lastrum, nice.
no, thank you, thank you. Cheers.
Utility.
Yep. Cheers.
I'm just messing.
And Lastrum, final thoughts before we close out?
Yeah, thank you everybody for staying around if you have and listened and joined us and messed around in the scene. We're always open on Discord. Like these two mentioned, we're always in here creating and live streaming, hanging out, coming up with ideas. You know, we're riffing. So if you have an idea and you want to do it and you want it to be a part of Angzar, we would love to make it happen. Just you got to reach out to us. You got to let us know, and we'll try to figure out how we can make it work somehow. It's all about making this such an epic experience for everybody, and so hopefully our passion shines through and is attractive enough for everybody to continue and come back. And I'll just finish on one tidbit. We've actually exposed one of our little tools that we use to maneuver things around, and it's a little Decentraland icon. This is called the Builder HUD, invented by Carl Farvel, improved upon by Last Slice. And if you want to, just for 5 minutes, there's actually a flying floating box that if you cannot find the actual flying secret, you can jump on this box, and it's in the southwest corner of the scene if you want to go to that. But this just moves things around visually. So you've got these left and right arrow keys at the very bottom, and it'll change which type of entity you can move. So if you go to the right on one of these left and right arrows on the very bottom, oh yeah, look, see, there you go. You're moving the CPC machine.
No, I want it back. I broke it. Oh my god. can, can I is there an undo button as well?
No, they're not here, but it's okay. It's only local, but this is just as a little glimpse of some of the creativity that we're thinking of exposing as part of your CPC, as part of the quest line. Maybe there's some scene building aspect. I'm just a little foreshadowing for the next version.
Oh my god, this is cool. As right before you like were saying that, I was like, huh, what is this Decentraland button? And as you were just explaining it, I clicked on it. I'm like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, click on the Y up arrow key right there on the bottom. Yeah, now look how high up you can move it. Yep, exactly. I believe that has a collider, so if you actually stood on it, you could go in there. So the left and right arrow keys, you can change which entity you're at the very bottom that you're controlling. The very bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please.
And then it'll tell you if you click on it the other way, the right arrow key.
The right. All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that if you just keep clicking, it should tell you different NPCs. We might have turned off all of the other ones, so maybe you can only move this. But that's how we roll through and move things in the scene and change them around.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So I think as I was. Oh no, never mind. I'm wigging out. As I was going to the side, I thought I was seeing something rise from me pressing it, or Decentraland just might be bugged for me at the moment because I can't click on anything. Refresh time. Okay, well, thank you so much, guys, for taking the time tonight to join me for Beyond the NFT. Once again, like I said, it's truly an honor to have all three of you here. You guys are well respected within the space, and just wanted to sit down with you and take a moment to get to know you a little bit, as well as even learn a lot about Angzar and all the crazy development that's going on. And so yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
And just a few final shout outs. Would like to shout out our sponsors up at the top of our screen. Big love to Meta One Designs, Songbird Collective, Dr. Drip, Vox Boards, and of course our host for every show or every Beyond the NFT we host, DollHouse. Thank you so much for all you do. Thank you, Dolls, for all the love and support that you bring to the community and all the opportunities you bring to newer community members. It's very, very important to have you around, and I love having you around, so keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, just stand by. I will raid the next streamer, and possibly might take over the screen. If not, I'll take over the Dollhouse screen and play some jams for us. Some late night with Sinful action. Thank you.
For having us. Good night,
Yeah,
y'all.
thanks, Dollhouse. It's been fun. It's been awesome.